Stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to make this adorable and super easy floor pillow. Hi everybody, it's Claudia from Create with Claudia. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pillowcase for a big 36-inch floor pillow. Growing up, I had a big floor pillow. My dad had built me a loft bed, and I always had a big floor pillow underneath, so I missed having one, and this is such an easy project for you. Wait till you see how to do it. The fabrics you're going to see in this are all from the collection Prairie Chicks by Cheryl Haynes. She designed it for Benartex fabric, and this is my one of my projects for them as a Benartex brand ambassador. I love their fabrics. They're just such high quality, and this fabric in particular is so adorable. I love all fabric, but you wait till you see the chickens on this, or chicks I should say. I'm going to show you a screenshot. I took a picture of it because I've already cut up most of the squares. I used a 10-inch stack of the Prairie Chicks fabric, 10-inch stack of that. Plus for the backing, I used 1.25 yards of one of the designs in there. It's the Prairie Chicks on green, and I really love the way that turned out. You'll see that in a little bit. And for the pillow form, I found one on Amazon. I just found a nice big 36-inch floor pillow. They're not super easy to find. I will have a link in the description in my video. I also have the full tutorial for this on my website, www.createwithclaudia.com. But let's take a look at this fabric. It is absolutely adorable, and then we're going to get started on the project. All right, we are ready to start this pillowcase, and I'm using this fun fabric again. I showed you at the beginning. I love this stuff. This is going to be the background, so the backing. So for the backing, you're going to need 2 pieces of fabric that are 21.5 inches by 37 inches. So it's about 1.25 yards of piece of fabric, and you're just going to need to cut that down again to 21.5 by 37, and you need 2 pieces like that. That's the first thing. That's for the backing. Now for the front, I used that gorgeous 10-inch pre-cut of the Prairie Chicks. I have some left. Usually when I do my videos, I pre-sew a little bit. So these are 5-inch squares I got from that 10-inch pack. You can also get a charm pack, no problem, or you can use scraps, but the 10-inch is just easy. I split them in half and half again, and you get 4 pieces, and then I just kind of mix and match them. So these are what I have left over. I have 1 row left to sew. I always prep before I do my videos. But of the 5-inch squares, you need 81 of them. We're going to have a 9 by 9 grid on the front of this pillow. So you need 81 5-inch squares. The other thing you want to do is now this is up to you, and I'll show you when I'm sewing. I like to sew with a twin needle. I've never sewn before this project with a twin needle, but because this is a floor pillow, I really wanted to get some extra strength. You can do a twin needle, or you can do 2 seams, or you can go with a zigzag seam to make it more secure. Let me show you the top real quickly so you can see where I've already prepped it. But there you can see, hopefully, I'm going to put it up to the camera. I used a twin needle, and it makes a nice strong seam. I'm just worried because it is a floor pillow that if somebody sits on it or the dog sits on it, it's going to come apart. And so you could do the twin needle like I did, or because I thought, hey, I might as well. I have the twin needle. I'm going to give it a shot. There you can see it better. I'll show a picture up too. Or you could do a zigzag stitch. A zigzag stitch is nice and strong. Or you can just do your regular 1/4 inch seam if you're just maybe putting it on the sofa or something. It's up to you. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But in this case, and you'll see it on the video, I did use the twin needle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to prep my background pieces so that's done and I don't have to worry about it. So what I did is it's, again, 21.5 by 37. And I took it over and I pressed it, move my cup out of the way, and then on one of the long edges you fold it over about 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to flip it over, so there's my fold over, nice, and I pressed it nicely. And then on the good side, or the right side of the fabric, I'm just going to stitch down this folded over edge. All right, so here it is. It's nice. It's sewn down. It looks nice and neat. And I do that on both of those pieces. And I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to show you, and again, I'll take a picture of it because I'm filming a little bit further away today. There, maybe you can see that double stitch. I'm filming a little bit further away today so you can see the whole thing since this is a big project. So I'll show some more pictures than I usually do. But there's your backing, 2 of those. And then, again, this is so ridiculously easy. I have my 81 squares. I've already sewn a bunch together, but you're going to make rows of 9 squares all together. And basically, I just mix and match. I try my sort of rule, and if it's a rule, you can't really call it a rule, is I don't want 2 of the same. I tried to pull out ones that weren't the same. So, like, I wouldn't put the 2 chickens next to each other. I try not to. It's sort of impossible. Sometimes after you start really sewing together the whole top, you kind of get them together. But, like, I might put one of these really pretty sort of tonal ones in the middle. But I'm going to do that. I'm just going to sew together one strip of 9 inches. And you're going to do 9 strips like that, 9 across, and then 9 individual strips. And then you're going to sew the whole top together. Alright, so here's my strip of 9 pieces. Hopefully you can see it'll hopefully just fit. I had one extra one I cut. But there's my strip of 9. I'm going to press this. Now the way I press each row is I'll press 1 to the left, 1 to the right, again the next one to the, so maybe I'll do the odd numbers to the left, even ones to the right. And that way they can nest nicely when I piece that whole top together. So I want to explain really quickly about the seam allowance on this one. It's a little bit different than your normal 1/4 inch seam allowance, especially for me because I'm using the twin needle. It's definitely different. If you use the 1/4 inch, that's fine. If you use a zigzag stitch, it's fine. Because it's an odd measurement, it's 37 inches across as the top piece that you're going to need, you are going to need to trim down the whole piece a little bit. But I just want to show you. So for example, in mine, using the twin needle, once the seam allowance is there, it's going to be about 4 and just over 4 1/4 inches wide. To get 9 squares, 37 divided by 9 is 4.11111 or something like that. So you're never going to get it quite exact. Well, hey, if you're an expert at seam allowance, you are. I am not. So this is as close as I got, is 4.25. And then what I'm going to do is once this whole top is sewn together, pressed nicely, I will trim it down to 37 inches. And I'll show you how I do that. But I just want to explain that. If you use a 1/4 inch, you're going to get, with a 5 inch, you're going to have a 4 1/2 inch. This will be 4 1/2 from seam to seam. And you're going to have to trim those outside pieces a little bit more. You can up it to maybe, maybe an eighth, well, you don't want 1/2 inch because that would be too much then. So you're going to have to play with a little bit. But in my case, because I'm using the twin needle, my seam allowance is just, it's a little bit over, maybe not quite 3/8 of an inch. It's just not quite perfect. So there is a little bit of finagling here when you're doing that. So here's my one last strip. And here are the pieces I've already sewn, and there you can see all those gorgeous fabrics in this line. This is one of those fabric lines that makes me happy. It's just fun to look at the chickens. Now this row has a lot of chickens in it, but it has some florals in it. I showed you earlier what the fabrics. But I'm going to add this last row of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, make sure it's on the right edge. And then I'm going to just line this up like so, and just make sure, like, I wouldn't want this one next to this one. That's just me. That's my personal preference. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to piece this together, and again, because I pressed the seams the right way, I should be good. So I'm going to, now what I'll do is I'll pin at each seam. Just pin, let me pull that over so you can actually see it. I'll pin at each seam. All right, so here's my finished top, as much as I can get into the screenshot. And now I'm going to measure it across, because it's definitely bigger than 37 inches, so I am going to need to trim it down. So I'm going to use my handy, so it's actually 39 inches. Yep, 39 on the button. So what I'm going to do is, so 39 minus 37 gives you, so I'm 2 inches over on my size. Now I don't want to cut the 2 inches from one side. I'm going to split that in half and cut 1 inch off of each side. That way it's a little more even. That's my personal preference, up to you. But that's how I'm going to do it. Let me measure one more time. And that's this way. And then I'll do it the same thing on the other way, just to make sure I get my 37 inches square on my top. Yours may be different depending on the kind of seam that you're using. All right, that is trimmed down to 37 inches. And I'm just going to check it. The reason I'm using this is because my cutting board is not, it only goes to 36. Yep, 37. Whew, okay. And now I'm going to just repeat that. I'm going to rotate this around and do it, whoops, on this edge. And then I'll have my 37 inches square. All right, so here is my piece. 37 inches across, 37 inches square, excuse me, and here's one of my backing pieces. You'll note this is laid on my flat surface, right side's facing up. So then this one, this first back piece, and this is the one we did earlier where it's, you know, stitched over, right side's facing the right side of the pillow. You're going to line this up, and everything should measure, and just lay that down and smooth it out really nicely. And then you are going to pin all the way around, and then we're going to add another piece. But first you're going to pin this piece just so it doesn't slip. And this takes a little bit of time because you want to make sure it's nice and even. All right, so I have pinned this first back piece on, as you can see, all the way, all three sides. You're going to leave that open because that's the opening to the pillow, the envelope style. And now I'm getting my second piece, and we're going to put this, again, these finished edges go towards the center of the pillow, and you're going to do the same thing, and you're just going to pin it around so you can see how that's going to be. There's your envelope style pillow, and you're going to pin all the way around just like I did before, nice and even edges. Okay, so it is pinned all the way around, and you can see both sides are facing the good side of the top, and I've pinned it. I pinned it pretty liberally. I want to make sure, and I double pin here and here because now we are going to stitch around the entire square. Okay, all four edges. And for this one, I actually am going to use my 1/4 inch seam allowance, my 1/4 inch foot, but I'm going to double sew. So I'm going to sew twice around the edge, just so I have a nice firm. I didn't want to use the twin needle for this part. I'm just going to do a double edge. Just sew it around twice. At both of these folds right here and right here, this is going to be the opening. I'm going to back stitch. That's really important because you know you're going to flip this inside out, and as people sit on it or step on it or the dog sleeps on it, that's your weak point in here. So you're gonna, I will double stitch here and here on both sides. It's a big pillow. It's not all in the picture. Here and here as well, and I marked it with the pins. All right, so it is sewn across around all 4 edges, and I'm just going to show it to you. It's really big, and I apologize, I'm space challenged here. You can see where the opening is. So now I'm going to flip it inside out. Normally, I would probably trim off these edges just to reduce a little bit of bulk. I'm not going to do that here. I don't want to risk trimming those stitches, because this is going to take a lot of, not wear and tear, but it's going to be a lot of pushing and pulling. Especially wait till you see when we put the pillow in. So just easy to flip out. That's what I love about envelope pillowcases, is they're so easy to turn inside out. So here's what it looks like. Seriously, isn't that, I'm going to run probably a chopstick or something around the edge just to get those corners as sharp as I can. Just run along the whole edge. Isn't that adorable? It's just so simple to make, and I love floor pillows, and I told you why at the beginning. And here's the back, and now I'm going to try as gracefully as I can to put the pillow into it. And this is always the challenging part, and this is why I double or backstitch, around those edges. So here we go. All right, so here's my pillow, here's the back. You can see that opening in the back. And here is the front, and it's so funny. It's so fun, it's funny too, it's cute. But it's so much fun, so comfortable. This is a really smushy pillow. It's gonna flatten out over time, especially if I sit on it or my dog uses it. I love the way this turned out. Look at all those fun fabrics. This can easily be made in a day, as long as you have the pillow form. The pillow form is available on Amazon, and again, the fabric is Prairie Chicks by Benartex, designed by Cheryl Haynes for Benartex. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you make one. Lots of fun, and a really fun, it'd be a great gift idea maybe for somebody who's in a dorm, or they have their first apartment and don't have a lot of chairs, like my daughter just moved out. Whatever you want to use. I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. I always love new subscribers. I do tutorials, tips, all kinds of fun things. And now I think I'm going to go take a nap on my new pillow. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.